Are you with me? Say yeah. Woo! All right. Let's go, guys. Beautiful, beautiful Monday. It's bright and sunny out here in Northern Virginia. So it's a beautiful day for another Ball Mania draft. We're going to keep talking about our model. We're going to keep trying to win that $3 million. So let's go ahead and just jump straight into it, guys. Straight into the draft room. So here we go. Share the screen. 30-second Ball Mania. Let's go. We're waiting on 4 people. Okay. So this is exciting stuff. This is exciting. So we have our rankings. If you guys watched our last episode, these are all of the rankings combined from our model. And I guess we can just go ahead and just touch on the model real quick for anybody who hasn't tuned into any of these episodes before. So thank you for hopping into a best ball draft today with me. And I have built this beautiful, beautiful model to basically predict what each fantasy player is going, or what each NFL player, how productive they're going to be this year. And some of these models that I built for each position, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, it has some pretty strong predictive power. And one thing I was trying to really do this year was remove any sense of emotion from my decision making in my drafts. I assume many people struggle with this, but one of my big things when I'm in draft rooms is like, Melvin Gordon screwed me last year. I'm not going to be drafting Melvin Gordon this year. That's kind of how I went about my drafts back when Melvin Gordon was a rookie. I drafted him in like the 4th round of my redraft league. And he was a solid player. He didn't score a single touchdown on the whole year, if you guys don't remember. So I faded him completely the next year because I was upset that I spent a 4th round pick on Melvin Gordon. And then guess what? The next season he scores like 15 touchdowns and he was a top 4 running back. And I missed out on him because of that. And so what I wanted to do this year was essentially just remove any sense of emotion from my decision-making process, like I said. And this model does a pretty freaking good job at finding the variables from last season that are most important for predicting next season's success. So we're looking at the wide receiver model first here because this is my favorite model. This has the most predictive power, and it makes the most sense intuitively. So essentially, for wide receivers, what we're going to want to be looking at is 2 years ago PPR, years experience, BMI, receiving EPA. I guess age and years experience kind of go hand in hand, but not necessarily. So that's another important number, and then draft number. And then the next 3, which I found interesting. These are all with an F score over 200. Is receiving yards after the catch. So the receiver's yak ability, receiving air yards. So I guess how many air yards do they get? That's the Curtis Samuel effect we're getting there. And then targets. Targets from the previous season because those tend to be pretty sticky from year to year. So those are our most important variables from a receiver, from a predicting a receiver's fantasy output. Our mean absolute error, meaning on average, how far off is our model in terms of predicting players? And that's at just under 45 points absolute. So it looks like I'm going to be in the 12th spot today. Okay, perfect. So we haven't had any 12 spots yet for the live stream, I don't think. So this is exciting because we could go like a CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra for stacking that Detroit-Dallas game. Let's see where CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra. Oh, we're going to grab Waddle. So let's go ahead and just look at the receivers. So basically what we're doing is we're combining everything that we know from optimal roster construction, what players should we be drafting. And the thing that popped out the most to me was Jalen Waddle's all the way up here at wide receiver 3, and he's getting drafted in the 2nd round. So we're going to prioritize getting Jalen Waddle at the back end of our drafts. And then we could probably stack him with an Amon-Ra and start off with an Amon-Ra, Jalen Waddle stack, which could be pretty powerful. Surprised to see that CeeDee Lamb was a little bit further down in our model. But I'm going to just agree with it a little bit in terms of I'm not a huge fan that Kellen Moore left the Cowboys offense, that they're going to be a little bit of a slower paced team. I know the Cowboys offense has been one of the best offenses for fantasy over the past few years, but that's mostly because Kellen Moore was there. One of the things and the reason why Kellen Moore left Dallas was there was ideology differences between Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy wants to win the game. He wants to run the ball, run clock, play slow, whereas Kellen Moore just wants to run the scoreboard up. And so that is very, very useful for fantasy, and that's why I love the Chargers this year, because Kellen Moore is going to be bringing that philosophy over to Los Angeles, whereas Mike McCarthy wants to run the ball. So maybe that boosts Tony Pollard up a little bit more. I don't know who the Cowboys are going to sign, but they're most likely going to sign another running back. It feels a little bit thin right now. And we know Leonard Fournette, Zeke is out there. So maybe one of those guys come in and take some additional share away from Tony Pollard. But let's see if we recognize anybody in this draft. We do not. So let's go. We're hoping that we can start off with a Amon-Ra, Jalen Waddle, because our model loves Jalen Waddle. Our model loves Amon-Ra, unless any of the top guys fall to us, which I don't anticipate. So Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, both just went. Let's add the running backs into here as well. Cooper Kupp has been taken. Tyreek Hill. Let's just go ahead and do this. Tyreek Hill has been taken. Christian McCaffrey has been taken. Who else? Kelsey, Bijan, McCaffrey. Okay, I don't have rookies in this model, but looks like Bijan just went. Jamar. We can throw Kelsey in here. Why not? Kelsey's going to be way up there. Look at that. Kelsey is going to be a dog again this year. You can never take Kelsey too early. Okay, that's going to leave us with Amon-Ra and Jalen Waddle. Those are our top two guys there. I know CeeDee Lamb is all the way up there, but I'm just such a big fan of Jalen Waddle this year. And our model loves him. I love this Miami offense. Stephon Diggs just also went. So we'll go ahead and take our guy Amon-Ra, and we will also go ahead and take our guy Jalen Waddle. So I like the way that this draft is already starting for us. We get two stud receivers. I know that Eckler, CD, JT, Saquon Barkley are all there. But I mean, Eckler's right here. So like maybe Eckler would probably be the top guy available there. But I'm a really big fan of the running backs at the 2-3 turn, because we're able to get these two elite wide receivers all the way up here and then still have similar production as some of these other guys. Like Jonathan Taylor's in the same, like the model likes Najee Harris just as much as it likes Jonathan Taylor. And yes, I know Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler are most likely going to score more points than Najee Harris. But the difference between those three running backs and Najee Harris isn't justified to be taking those guys 2 full rounds ahead of Najee Harris. Whereas some of these receivers, they are justified to be taking them at the 1-2 turn versus taking some of these running backs, because the receivers that fall off in the 3-4 are most likely going to be much less productive than some of these receivers. And that's why I am so happy with how this model outputs data, or how we are able to visualize the output, is because we're able to predict at a reasonable accuracy how many points they're going to score. So we can look at like value of replacement for this coming season, rather than looking at it from a lens where we're looking at things historically. Changes things massively, in my opinion. But okay, so we're already stacking receivers in, I think, 2 of the highest scoring matchups of week 17. We have Detroit and Dallas, and we have Miami and Baltimore. So we can start just looking at those 4 teams, because I expect all 4 of those teams to be very productive this year. So maybe we can just start segmenting our submission into those 4 teams because they should be highly productive fantasy offenses, and they're stacked perfectly for week 17. So we'll see who falls to us in our next pick. But we can just continue to look at those specific games. So we'll see who falls to us. But let's look at the rest of the schedule for each of these teams. So Miami gets Jets, Dallas, Baltimore. Ooh, Miami plays Dallas as well. That's spicy. And then Detroit gets Denver, Minnesota, Dallas. So we can even look at Minnesota because I really like the Minnesota offense again. Maybe we could look at a Jordan Addison for our rookie pick. But Addison does go pretty high for a rookie. He goes in like the 6th round. Whereas like Garrett Wilson last season was going like the 11th round. And that worked out a lot better for dudes who waited to the 11th round to take Garrett Wilson. And that's why I like Zay Flowers so much this year. So I'm definitely going to be trying to get Zay on this team. Maybe like the Zay, Rashad Bateman. If Lamar falls to us, we're obviously taking Lamar. I don't anticipate Lamar to fall to us, but maybe we'll get a little gift from the fantasy gods this morning. And if that happens, then I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be extremely excited, but that would be crazy if those dudes fell. But let's see. Okay, so it looks like a lot of these guys have gone. Josh Jacobs, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown, Austin Eckler. All of those guys have been taken. Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, both have been taken. Who else? I think Terry's still there. Chris Kirk's still there. CeeDee Lamb, Derrick Henry, Chris Olave. Those guys have been taken. Lamar got taken. Wah. Lamar, Ramondre. So Ramondre got taken. T. Higgins has been taken. T. Higgins. Tony Pollard has been taken. Nick Chubb has been taken. Tony Pollard, Chubb. I think ETN has been taken as well. We could even look at like a Jacksonville to shy away from the initial stack. Calvin Ridley, never mind. Calvin Ridley got taken. The model does also like Mark Andrews as our tight end too. Mark Andrews is our tight end too in the model. He should be a strong player this year. I'm a fan of Mark Andrews. If he's the top player on the board, I think we go ahead and just grab our elite tight end in Mark Andrews just for that game stack. But hopefully Range Emerging or Douchebag Dave don't take Mark Andrews because we can go ahead and hit the draft button on him. And then Mark Andrews just got taken. Maybe for that game stack, we just continue to stack Jahmyr Gibbs because I really like Jahmyr Gibbs late in the season. So Jahmyr Gibbs will be our top option here at pick 36. And then our second guy, all right, let's start looking at quarterbacks. The model really likes Justin Fields up here. Burrow is also still there. We'll go ahead and grab Gibbs first. And then maybe we just go Justin Fields because he is the top quarterback outside of we want an elite quarterback. I know Amon-Ra, Jalen Waddle, and Justin Fields isn't necessarily a guy that we'll need to stack receivers with. Because Justin Fields just produces so much on the ground. I think I want to take Justin Fields here. So let's go. Got Justin Fields. Justin Fields is our QB5. And I know the Bears options, we're able to get them pretty cheaply. I know I passed on Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow is 30 points clear of Justin Fields. And I did draft Joe Burrow the other day. So we'll go ahead and get this submission with a little Justin Fields action, just because I don't have too much Justin Fields on my roster thus far. But I'm liking it so far. Maybe we could have also gone like Burrow, and that'd be a reach on Mixon. But we're going to try to target Mixon later. He's our guy that we're going to want to target. We're attacking this Detroit-Dallas game even more because we missed on both of the Baltimore guys. But we can get some bringbacks with Baltimore by targeting like a Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman a little bit later in the draft. But I didn't love this range of wide receivers. Maybe the guy I liked the most was like Jerry Jeudy, DJ Moore. But I want my guy Jahmyr Gibbs just because I think he's going to be a little bit of a cheat code for fantasy. and he's stacked with Amon-Ra St. Brown. We're going to get more of the Detroit-Dallas game, and I don't have too much of it already, but we could get like a Dak Prescott a little bit later. We could get even a Jared Goff to stack with Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Detroit does play Chicago twice this year, so that's an additional stack that we can go after. Yeah. Do they have the buys in here yet? No, they don't have buys in here yet, but that's okay. Najee gets taken right there. Yeah, one of the things which okay, Najee got taken, Jerry Jeudy got taken. Let's see. I'm assuming Terry is gone. I saw Ken Walker just go. Terry's still there. Ken Walker got taken. I'm assuming Christian Kirk is about to go. Terry, Drake London, TJ Hawkinson. My model does not love TJ Hawkinson, but that's okay. I think TJ Hawkinson is a little bit too expensive right now. Coming off the board as the third tight end all the way here in the fourth round, the 4-5 turn, I don't like it. That's really, really expensive for a guy that should not be that expensive, in my opinion. I know it's a good offense. They're probably going to show out this year, but they just added Jordan Addison. That's a lot of target competition. Last year, he didn't. He was competing with KJ Osborne, Adam Thielen when he was healthy. And TJ Hawkins is a good player where he's able to eat those underneath routes. I think Jordan Addison is going to kind of eat TJ Hawkins' lunch. It's not going to be I think people who draft TJ Hawkinson at this point are going to be a little bit upset. Maybe they'll get saved in week 17, but I don't know if they'll make it to week 17 because they're spending a fourth round pick on TJ Hawkinson is paying a premium for a guy that might not necessarily back that sort of production up. So I think we're going to have to go wide receiver here just to continue to build out our room. I really like Jackson Smith and Jigba, really like Brandon Ayuk. So those would be our top two picks if they fall to us to really shore up our receiver room. Could even look at Addison, but we would be reaching on Addison a little bit here. Could look at Mixon as our top running back off the board if Smith and Jigba goes. But yeah, one of the things which our model does miss on is rookies. And so I'm going to try to find a way to build that in. It's been tough so far just because when I put the rookies into the model, it's really, really odd because it overprojects the rookies massively. Okay, so both of our guys are there. Even Mixon is there. Maybe we go Mixon Ayuk and pass on Smith and Jigba here. Let's definitely get Ayuk because I'm a big fan of Brandon Ayuk, and our model loves Brandon Ayuk. San Francisco plays Baltimore, Washington, Arizona. That's kind of cake down the stretch. We're going to take Ayuk here at 512. And Smith and Jigba or Mixon. We have how much Seattle? Seattle is stacked with Philadelphia, Tennessee, Pittsburgh. I mean, we're going to have plenty of Jackson Smith and Jigba. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Joe Mixon here. Just because Joe Mixon is severely underpriced, in my opinion. And to be able to get him as our RB2 in the 6th round is really, really solid. I think as the legal stuff starts to dissipate and Mixon is clearly going to be the starter for week 1, Mixon is going to shoot up draft boards. He should not be getting drafted here in the 6th round. I mean, he's 26 years old. I know he wasn't super efficient last year, but this Cincinnati offense is just so elite that he's going to score points. He was what was Joe Mixon's fantasy? Okay, so 2 years ago he was the RB3, and last year he was the RB12, and that was putting up 826 yards on 3.9 yards per carry. I think we're kind of gonna see it'll be somewhere in between RB3 and RB12. And what does he get drafted as? He gets drafted as RB21. He's gonna finish as an RB1 if he stays healthy all year. So Mixon is a guy that I'm definitely targeting in all my drafts. So I'm loving this start so far with Justin Fields at quarterback, Jahmyr Gibbs, Joe Mixon at running back, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, and Brandon Ayuk as our receivers. This is looking like a really, really strong start. And I love the receivers in this next range. So because we already have our 2 starting running backs, we're just going to start hammering the wide receiver position and really start getting the guys that are falling down the board a little bit because it looks like people have been filling out their other positions, but we've gotten some of our guys down here. Brandon Ayuk, mispriced. Joe Mixon, mispriced. Jalen Waddle, mispriced. Amon-Ra is correctly priced, but I really like him, especially with Jameson Williams missing the first half of the year. So he's going to be an absolute target hog and someone that we're definitely going to want on a lot of our teams. Okay. Has Michael Pittman been taken? Pittman has been taken. Looks like the wide receivers are starting to come off the board. DeAndre Swift goes. This guy got a steal in JSN. JSN picked 68. Pacheco, another mispriced player. Someone that's too highly drafted, in my opinion. And I don't think I will be taking any more Pacheco at that ADP because he's a 7th-round running back, someone that I don't feel good about taking that high. Where's James Conner? James Conner. We could look at James Conner just because James Conner is going to produce this season. Someone has to score points on that Arizona offense, and James Conner is a good pick for that sort of play. Saw Tyler Lockett go. Aaron Jones. All right, so all of these guys have gone. DK Metcalf is a duplicate in our data. We have not cleaned that up yet. Breece Hall, Mike Williams, both gone. Model does not love Devontae, thinks that he's a little bit too old. DeAndre Hopkins is gone. I think Pickens is gone as well. Let me double check. Pickens has gone just 2 picks ago. Okay, Hollywood, Addison both go. Amari, Debo, they're all gone. I think I saw Dameon Pierce go as well. Christian Watson up here as well. I think too many people are low on the Arizona Cardinals. Cal, be cool. I think too many people are low on the Arizona Cardinals. I agree with you. I think people just think this Cardinals team is going to be garbage, which it will be. It's definitely going to be a garbage team. But somebody's going to score points for them. And the fact that all of them are being pushed down the board so far, other than DeAndre Hopkins, because people are anticipating DeAndre Hopkins to be traded, I think they're a little bit too cheap right now. So I'm going to be taking advantage of that. And if James Conner falls to my pick, I will probably take him there. But good call out. Good call out there. That'll be cool. Okay, if Deontay Johnson falls to us, I think we take him just because Deontay Johnson is another one of those mispriced players. The model likes Deontay Johnson all the way up here, and it also likes James Conner. We drafted Alvin Kamara last time, and just we don't want to be overdrafting Alvin Kamara just because there's so much risk tied to him. But if Deontay falls to us, we will take Deontay here. Maybe we'll look at a Quentin Johnson. Where does the Chargers? Do the Chargers play any of our guys? The Chargers play Las Vegas, Buffalo, Denver. Not really. We can probably avoid Quentin Johnston here then. And we'll look at like a Deontay and a James Conner if they both fall to us. And I would be loving this team already if Deontay, James Conner both fall to us. And they do. Dak Prescott gets taken, so we lose some of our stack, but that's okay. We'll go after like a Jared Goff a little bit later. But Deontay Johnson, James Conner, both values at their ADPs, in my opinion. And I like how this team is shaping up. We'll go ahead and grab Deontay, and we'll go ahead and grab James Conner. Who do the Cardinals play? San Francisco, Chicago, Philadelphia. Oh, that Philadelphia game is going to be gross. We're going to have to get more high upside plays later in this draft. But James Conner is just one of those guys that's being underdrafted. So we'll go ahead and grab him right here. But I am loving the way that this room is falling to us. Some of these guys, which we have higher on our board, are falling to us. We're obviously going to get our guy, Antonio Gibson. Report came out today that said that Ron Rivera wants to get the ball more to Antonio Gibson. Great. He's learning. Antonio Gibson should be getting the ball more just because 99% percentile speed score. Like, he's extremely fast for a dude who's like 6'2", 225. There were reports that even like 2 years ago, he was a little bit overweight and he was weighing at like 240. So he's lost his weight. He's lost some weight, gotten back into shape. And I really like him to take a step forward in the Bieniemy offense. He's still only 24 years old. I think Antonio Gibson is the most mispriced player. Calby Cool said, and Arizona didn't add any running backs. That is right. James Conner was a big winner after the NFL draft. They paid him, last year, 2 years ago? They upgraded their offensive line, and he should be good. Love Gibby this year. Man, I love Antonio Gibson. That dude's my guy. I have his jersey. I'm a Commanders fan. I've been a big fan of him ever since we drafted him. Averaged a touchdown every 5 touches in college, which is insane. If you haven't checked out his college stats, I highly recommend going and looking at his college stats because in my rookie running back model, Antonio Gibson pops as one of the highest prospects in the model, right there with JT actually, which was really, really surprising to me, and that might be over projecting his career a little bit, but you never know. He has that potential with his prospect profile. He's fast, he's big, elite college producer. Although didn't get as many touches, he was extremely efficient with those touches. So really like Antonio Gibson. I could go on all day about Antonio Gibson. But okay, we have like our base team built out for us at this point. We don't have too many game stacks built out for us. We have Amon-Ra Jahmyr Gibbs right there, and we're probably going to want to look to grab Jared Goff. Jared Goff, I think, is another one of those mispriced players. Our next pick is 108, 109. Let's see who we'd want to fall to us. If David Montgomery falls to us, that'd be huge. I don't think he will. But we like it. David Montgomery. We like Antonio Gibson. The model likes Michael Thomas, surprisingly, but I don't think I'm going to be taking any Michael Thomas in this draft because I drafted him yesterday. Christian Watson, Keenan Allen, Kyle Pitts, Miles Sanders. All of these guys have been taken. Those guys are pretty well priced. Kyle Pitts might be even a little underpriced. Kittle, Godwin, Gabe Davis. These guys have all went. Rashad White, Devontae Smith. I was surprised that the model didn't like Devontae Smith that much. But it makes sense because the model weights BMI so heavily. And Devontae Smith is kind of one of those outlier guys. So we might be able to push him up our rankings because of that. Just intuitively we know Devontae Smith is just such a good player. Devonta Smith, and he's going to be an absolute stud again this year. So we could push him up a little bit. I'm pretty sure Dalvin has gone. I don't really need to check that because I think we're in the 9th round. Yeah, we're in the 9th round, and Dalvin has definitely gone. Kamara goes there at 8-12. Montgomery goes. Kirk Cousins, J-Mo, they all go. Let's see. Who are our top guys? Kamara has gone. I'll be drafting some Kamara, not a ton of Kamara. There's a lot of risk tied to him. I think he is going to get suspended. But if we can get him down here, like in the 9th, 10th round, I'll be drafting some more Kamara this year. We want to get Lenny late in the draft, Antonio Gibson a little bit later in the draft, even looking at Lazard and Zay Jones later in the draft. But looking at these stacks one more time, we need to be stacking Miami, Baltimore. All of those Baltimore receivers got taken, though, so the Miami-Baltimore dream might be a little bit dead. I like Tua, so we could be grabbing Tua if he falls to us at our ADP or at our pick because he's fallen a whole round at ADP, so we can just kind of snatch up that value. And people are fading Tua for the concussions, and while yes, that is definitely a real concern with him. When he plays, he's an elite fantasy quarterback. He's tied to Jalen Waddle. He's tied to Tyreek Hill. All he's got to do is do what he does best and hit his receivers in stride and let them run with the ball. So the offense doesn't even really ask that much of Tua. It just asks him to feed his mega productive, mega athletic, super speedy wide receivers, and they'll go and make plays for the team. So if Tua falls to me, we'll take Tua. I don't know if I love OBJ here. What was Odell's production 2 years ago? But maybe just for that Baltimore-Miami game stack, ran back. Got a Tua Waddle stack in my last draft. Run back with Zay Flowers. I love that. All right, we're definitely going to get Tua here. So we have the Tua Waddle stack. And then maybe we just do an Odell bring back just because. So this is 10th round now. And we can afford to just completely whiff on this pick because we are down here in the 10th round. There's a lot of just guys that we're going to take shots on down here. So we're going to grab Tua here. And I think we'll grab Odell just for that Baltimore-Miami game. And all we really need is we need to be able to we have to carry Odell to the finals, which I think that this team is capable of. And then Odell just has to pop off that 1 week, which he's definitely capable of as well. And he's taken a whole year off of rest. And he is being drafted at wide receiver 50. I like that sort of upside. Odell is an elite player when he's healthy. So let me grab some Odell here for that Baltimore-Miami game stack. Wow. wow, I'm really liking this team. I'm liking this team more and more as we go about it. But we have our 2 elite quarterbacks. Tua, obviously, a little bit mispriced in my opinion. He's a little bit further down. But we got Fields. We have Gibbs, Mixon, James Conner, our running backs. And our wide receivers are Amon-Ra, Jalen Waddle, Brandon Ayuk, Deontay Johnson, and Odell Beckham. Really liking the way that this team is shaping out so far. Odell Beckham is missing in my model because he's not played the last 2 years. So I have to find a way to figure that out. But our model isn't the biggest fan of Tua, I don't think. Last that I remember. Our model doesn't love Tua, but it doesn't hate him either. He's even going above Dak Prescott in our model. And I think that that's reasonable. Jared Goff is going a little bit later, and he's also priced a little bit above him. But we're going for the stack. So, I mean, maybe we'll even get like a Jared Goff later if he continues to fall. Gino's another one of those super mispriced guys. But I grabbed Gino last week, so we're going for a little bit of diversification and trying to stack these games a little bit harder. Chicago. Who does Chicago play week 17? I'm pretty sure they play they play Atlanta. Ooh, that opens us up to something. Because Atlanta is another one of those offenses that I think are mispriced. We obviously missed on Pitts, Bijan, and Drake London already. But maybe we can do like a Mac Hollins. I don't know. They don't throw the ball that much there. I don't know what we're going to do with week 17 with Arizona. But I expect Justin Fields to kind of go off against that offense. Maybe we'll even do like a Cordero Patterson or something, just like something stupid that like someone just like massively underpriced or that's not going to be drafted that often and who could just like score 2 touchdowns in a week. Where does our model have CPAT? Patterson, he's pretty low, but that's okay. We could get him 18th round. We'll look into it later. But okay, let's see. We don't have a tight end yet. It looks like, I mean, whenever we keep doing these drafts, we always fade tight end. And we're just going like the 3 late tight end strategy, which it's looking like that might happen again here. Maybe we could look at like a Cole Kmet because I think our model is okay on Cole Kmet. Let's see what our model likes about Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet is right here, and then we'll always get our super late value guy, Noah Fant. Cole Kmet. Okay, if Cole Kmet falls to us, I think we take him at our next pick. I don't know, 136. Maybe we'll bet on Cole Kmet continuing to fall to us because I don't want to reach on a guy like Cole Kmet. Actually, week 17, Atlanta sucks against the tight end position. What was Atlanta's rank? Against tight ends. I wonder if they have any of that data. Tight end points against. Let's go. The Seahawks were the worst. Okay, Falcons were 3rd worst. So I think we do take Cole Kmet at our pick. Maybe we take Cole Kmet. No, I want to take Antonio Gibson. Yeah, at our next pick, we'll probably go Cole Kmet, Antonio Gibson. Because we have the Brandon Ayuk, we could go Washington, San Francisco stack right there. And I like Antonio Gibson is one of our favorite players in these drafts. I've already drafted a ton of him. I will continue to be drafting a ton of him because that is our guy. If Antonio Gibson is the one to take us to the promised land, that would be freaking huge. Cal Be Cool, I appreciate you continuing to pepper the chat with more and more comments. Cal Be Cool says, I've been drafting a lot of the Bills, Harris, Kincaid, Gabe Davis. I love those 3 players. Oh, Gibson got taken. What are you doing, PSU Charger 9? Come on. Oh, are you on the stream, PSU Charger 9? That would be really, really unfortunate if you just sniped me of Antonio Gibson. I'm upset at you, PSU Charger 9. You're a thorn in my side if you're going to be taking Antonio Gibson from me. But hey, I'm for all of the Antonio Gibson this year. PSU Charger 9, thanks for getting on the Antonio Gibson train. I already have a bunch of him, but I wanted him on this team as well because this team is shaking out so well for us. We're going to take Cole Kmet with our first pick. And then who does our model like as our next pick? I mean, we could really go any which way with this pick because we have kind of a little bit of everything at this point. Who's the top player on our model? Okay, bro. I mean, obviously all those quarterbacks are already gone. We can actually take quarterback out of this. Lenny, we're going to take him way later. Gibby got taken. Lazard, Zay Jones, Michael Thomas, Demont. Lazard, Zay Jones. All those guys have gone. Michael Thomas, Jacoby, AJ Dillon, Algier. Is Jacoby here? Jacoby's gone as well. Huh. This is kind of tough now. Jamal Williams, Adam Thielen, Jalen Hyatt, Romeo Dubs. Maybe we'll take Romeo Dubs just because there's a lot of uncertainty in that backfield. Green Bay is playing Minnesota. We don't really have any of those players. So I guess this is kind of just a wash. This is our one pick, which we weren't really prepared for. So ended up getting Romeo Dubs here just because that's such an ambiguous wide receiver room. And I like taking shots whenever the wide receiver room is very ambiguous. All these. Oh, maybe Lazard was there. I didn't really even look for that. Lazard got taken. Okay, ADP 112. Okay, so all of these guys have been taken. We can cancel all these guys out. So I'm happy I didn't miss any of those dudes. Jacoby and AJ Dillon, those guys are also gone. 0XD3960B asks, your model likes a couple guys way higher than their ADP. How do you plan to manage your exposures on them? The way that I'm going to manage my exposures on them is mostly just going to be how the draft falls to me, essentially. So, like, I obviously don't want to be overpaying for these guys. So I'm going to basically let them fall to their general ADP range. And if they're there, I'll take them. If they're not there, that's okay too, because I'm going to be drafting them. I'm going to be doing 150 of these drafts. So if they fall to me, like, great, like I'll draft them in that room. But the other way that I'm also going to look at it is like, okay, my team is constructed a certain way. What position do I need? What teams do I need to look at? I wasn't prepared for this Dubs pick, so like I kind of just panicked and took Dubs because of the ambiguous wide receiver room, and like maybe he leads the team in targets. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm going to manage my exposures about them. I'm not going to like say like, oh, I'm going to invest 40% of my drafts in Antonio Gibson. I'm going to invest 30% of my drafts in Amon-Ra St. Brown. No. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let the draft fall to me and just take who I think is the best player available that fits my team the best. And I'm not going to really like plan my exposures. It's mostly just going to be like the exposures are going to fall a certain way based off of my draft strategy. So exposure is kind of a result rather than part of the process. Okay. I wonder where Dubs is in my rankings. I think Algier is gone too, right? Oh, Algier's right there, actually. Algier is probably our top guy available. I know Goddard went a while ago. We got Cole Kmet. And we're going to look at some of the other tight ends that we can stack with them. Both of these guys have gone. I think Fryermuth is gone as well. And Njoku definitely went. Treylon Burks definitely went. Maybe we even look like a Chase Claypool. The model doesn't hate Chase Claypool, and he's produced a ton of touchdowns in the past. Maybe he can get back to that. I don't know. Pretty sure KJ Osborne is gone. I assume Alec Pierce is gone because he went. Okay, I'm not gonna keep Xing these guys out, but let's look at Dubs. Romeo Dubs is down here. I mean, I don't love that I drafted him this early then, but I guess like it's fine. That's my one throwaway pick, and I think we can afford a throwaway pick with how this team is built out so strongly, in my opinion. All right, so if Algier falls to us, he is the pick there. We have Pittsburgh, right? We have Pittsburgh and Deontay. We could even go like Jalen Warren. We have Mixon in Cincinnati. Let's see. Who are the top guys? I know Lenny is our top guy. Algier is another top guy. Devin Singletary is pretty high up here as well. Where's Singletary? Singletary's right here. My favorite late. So Calby Cool says my favorite late stack is the Pats can get Mac Jones, Tyquan Thornton, and Mike Gesicki with your last 3 picks, basically. I like that late game stack too as well. Calby Cool. I don't have any of it yet because like my rooms haven't fallen that way, and I haven't really needed to prioritize for that. But he does play Buffalo, and they do play Buffalo in Week 17, and that's going to be a juicy matchup that I want to get some exposure to. But I don't have too much Buffalo exposure at this point, just because I haven't been drafting too much Josh Allen. But that will probably change as the offseason goes on, just because Josh Allen is our top quarterback in the model. But okay, it looks like Algier is still there. hopefully he continues to slide and we can go ahead and grab him at our ADP. And maybe we'll just grab like a Michael Gallup back here just to stack with Amon-Ra and Jahmyr Gibbs. That could be pretty interesting. If Michael Gallup gets taken, maybe we go like an MVS for like a Joe Mixon bring back. James Conner, who does Arizona play in week 7? Oh, they play Philly. That's probably going to be a pretty gross game for Arizona. But that does open us up to some Philly guys down here. I don't really love any of the Philly pass catchers down here just because they're all like the offense is going to be so consolidated amongst Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert. So it's going to be tough to get any more of those Philadelphia pass catchers down here. But I do like Gallup if he falls here. Gallup and Algier, the top 2 guys in ADP, because those. How does our model like Gallup? Model doesn't love Gallup, but I think we're just grabbing him simply for the game stack. He is pretty far down there, though. But the model cannot account for model does not account for injuries at this point. So maybe that definitely is something that we still need to build into the model. But let's go ahead and grab Michael Gallup and our guy Algier. I know one of the things that the model is missing on is the fact that Bijan has joined that backfield, but Arthur Smith likes to use multiple running backs. Like even freaking like Caleb Huntley was used a bunch last year, and Caleb Huntley is not a great running back. I mean, he's big, and so is Algier. And Algier had 1,000 rushing yards last year. So I like getting the second-year running back, Tyler Algier, down here in the 14th round. I really like Marvin Mims. I definitely like him more than Michael Gallup. But I think the Denver game, I don't have anyone in that Denver Week 17 against the Chargers. And I'm going to be having plenty of Marvin Mims this offseason just because I'm going to be stacking more and more of those Chargers-Denver games because I think both of those offenses are a little bit underpriced right now. Devin Singletary just goes. But okay, this is looking pretty good. We have the Atlanta. Who plays Atlanta in Week 17 again? Atlanta, Chicago. That's right, Justin Fields. That's why we have the Cole Kmet, Justin Fields, Tyler Algier, bring back. I like it. I like our running back room. Love our quarterback room. Wide receiver room looks pretty strong. These last 3 wide receiver picks are a little bit questionable, but I like the upside that they possess. And who does Dubs plays Week 17? They play the Vikings. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to target that game with this specific team. Just because the build doesn't make a ton of sense, but Cal Be Cool says want a round 18 tight end punt. Yeah, throw it at me, Cal Be Cool. I've been punting I've been punting the tight end position pretty often in these drafts, but I think I'm gonna shift back to taking elite tight end. But like I've continuously said, it's how the draft room falls to us. So. The last few draft rooms have fallen to punting tight end, so we've been punting tight end. But Cal Be Cool, who is your Week 18 tight end punt? I would love to hear it. Oh, yeah, Laporta would have been a good pick here, too. Laporta, instead of maybe Gallup, would have been the pick, but that's okay. I'm a little bit disappointed that I did that. Big fan of Laporta. Think that he could produce pretty high this season. So... MTM Revolt, I saw you took the boy Zay Flowers, and he's also taken the boy Laporta. He's got a great receiver room, solid running back room, great quarterback room with Lamar. So he's got a good team. He's probably the one that I'm going to have to watch out for. All these tight ends are going. Felipe Franks, he's listed as a tight end, could end up playing quarterback if Atlanta goes up in flames. He played QB last year. I actually had Felipe Franks on one of my dynasty teams. So you know what? Screw it. I'll take Felipe Franks with this Week 18 pick. I see you've been following Liam Murphy along here because I know Liam Murphy. Is it Liam Murphy? I think it's Liam Murphy who said Felipe Franks is his. It's this year's what is it? Jeff Driscoll, Taysom Hill, and then now this year it's Felipe Franks. So maybe it does fit this team kind of well. So maybe we'll go with Felipe Franks here. And 0xd3960b asks, what's the R squared on your tight end model? The R squared on my tight end model is not great. It's like, let's check it. I think it's like 29%, something bad like that. Yeah, 29%. on our tight end model. So it doesn't explain the variance all that well, but I think that makes sense because tight ends are so touchdown dependent. All of their fantasy production is going to come from those touchdowns. So we just want to be targeting the offenses that are going to score a lot of touchdowns. I think Chicago is one of those teams that's going to be scoring a decent amount of touchdowns. Liam the GOAT. Yeah, Liam Murphy is the GOAT. I like watching his Best Ball Mania streams. And obviously wish him the best of luck at the World Series of Poker because that's going to be a ton of fun for him to go down and compete in that. I hope to compete in that one day as well. But okay, with the way that this room is falling to us, I really like Tank Bigsby down here. I know I don't have any of the Jacksonville stack, but like I'm okay with just like going skinny on Jacksonville, skinny on Tank Bigsby because it's just a guy that could produce. And the running backs isn't necessarily where you want to have a ton of you don't need a ton of correlation. You typically want more correlation amongst your quarterbacks. So maybe we'll get like one more like Chicago pass catcher and bet on Chicago taking a step forward as an offense. Josh Downs is also down here. But I do like Tank Bigsby. Maybe we could get Jeff Wilson too, just for the Miami stacks. And Jeff Wilson is the cheapest Miami running back. And he's put up 3-4 touchdown games before. So we could take Jeff Wilson down here. I actually like Jeff Wilson here if he falls to us. And he does fall to us. We'll take Jeff Wilson with our first pick. And then we'll probably go one more receiver to go 8 wide receivers with this build just because we've taken so many of these just like random swings at receiver. So we could just take one more random swing. I like Leonard Fournette here too. We'll definitely take Jeff Wilson here. Do I go receiver or running back? Because we already have our 7 wide receivers. Amon-Ra, Jalen Waddle, Brandon Ayuk, Deontay Johnson, Odell Beckham, Romeo Doubs, Michael Gallup. Do we go Lenny or just a random receiver? Screw it. I'm going to keep drafting Lenny. Lenny, 16th round. I'm just going to keep drafting Leonard Fournette 16th round just because it's just so mispriced. So mispriced. Why is Leonard Fournette going in the 16th round? I will just keep drafting him in the 16th round until he gets pushed up. Like the model loves Leonard Fournette. I know the fantasy community is super down on Leonard Fournette. Super down on him. I mean, freaking going in the 16th round. But where did Leonard Fournette finish last season? RB 15. Leonard Fournette had freaking 83 targets last year. He's going to get signed somewhere. He's going to an NFL team, and he will get work in the NFL again. It's Leonard Fournette. What landing spots are even left for him? He's tied to the Cowboys. So the Cowboys are interested in Leonard Fournette. Tony Pollard owners would not be happy about that. He could always return to the Buccaneers. Maybe like Minnesota signs him. I don't know. He's going to go somewhere, though. And he's going to get like how many carries did he get last year? He got 189 carries. Maybe that falls. Maybe let's cut that in half. Maybe he gets 100 carries. Okay, it's still 100 carries. Okay, let's say he only averages 3.5 yards a carry. Okay, he gets 100 carries, 350 yards. We'll keep his touchdowns. 100 carries, 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. Okay, great. Okay, but let's look at his receiving. He had 83 targets last year. Let's cut that in half. That's 41. The second that he signs the team, he's shooting up draft boards. So the fact that I can get him all the way back here in the 16th round, I love that. And I will continue drafting him. And the model loves him. Like, look at how all these guys have been taken. Freaking Leonard Fournette sits all the way up here. I highly doubt he scores 195 points this year. But the model loves his pass catching production. That's why the model loves him so much. And let's cut his fantasy production by the error bar in the running back model. So the error bar in the running back model is 50 points. So let's cut this by 50 points. That's 145 points. That still falls right under Tyler Algier. And these guys are going a few rounds ahead of him too. So that's like his floor projection. So let me grab Leonard Fournette here just because he's so mispriced. And like I expect these receivers to continue to be drafted down here. Calby Cool says if Lenny goes to a team like Dallas, he's the 7th, 8th round pick. And I agree. He's probably going to get pushed up because like freaking Brandon Cooks is going like the 8th round. So if Leonard Fournette signs there, he probably goes in like 9th, 10th. But yeah, I mean, Look at what happened to Julio Jones last year. Julio Jones was getting drafted in the 16th round. I know Julio Jones isn't the best example because Julio Jones was pretty bad last year. But he still had a few games where he had a touchdown here and there and had like 20 points in like 1 or 2 games. But nobody knew where he was going, and he was a free agent. He was getting drafted in the 16th round. He's the second he signs to Tampa, gets pushed up into the 10th round. If he actually played well last year, which I mean nobody really expected that he did, that would have been a solid payoff at ADP. But I'm getting Leonard Fournette down here in the 16th round. All I need from him is one game. All I need from him is week 17. Getting him in the 16th round. But okay, back to the draft. We have our 2, 6, 7, and we will get our 2 tight ends. Jake Bauman asked, how confident are you with what the model is telling you on projections? Not super confident on the running back and the tight end model. I'm mostly just using it directionally because it's basically just telling me who the market is mispricing at this point. Based off of historicals. Basically, like what it's telling us is how these players have progressed throughout their careers. From a data perspective, what do we expect this player to produce this year? If someone is like way mispriced, like a Leonard Fournette, like I'm going to be taking him. That's a value to me. That's a huge, huge value to me. Tyler Algier is mispriced as well. I mean, it's basically the market overreacting to league-wide news. Okay, Atlanta drafts Bijan in the 1st round. Okay, but this is a running back who put up 1,000 rushing yards last year and was efficient at it. PFF counted him as a top 10 running back in the NFL. And we're suddenly pushing him down into what round did I get Tyler Algier? Got him at pick 157. We're suddenly pushing Tyler Algier down to the 14th round. No, I don't think that should be happening. So we're able to take advantage of that fact off of just market inefficiencies. The models that I am super confident in are the wide receiver and quarterback models. So I really, really like how those models projected out. They have strong R squares. Both those R squares are over 50%. And I think if our models are able to explain over 50% of the variance from year to year on fantasy points production, total fantasy points production, I am going to be pretty freaking confident in that. So I am confident in it. I'm going to be using this all off season, and I'm hoping that this is going to help me win the $3 million. But okay. We're going to want to get a little bit more of a safer tight end before we take our Felipe Franks. I wanted Trey McBride, but we're going to take Noah Fant because we're going to be drafting Noah Fant in every single one of these drafts because Noah Fant, our model loves Noah Fant. Noah Fant is someone that I really, really loved back in the day. We have Deontay Johnson, so there's a Seattle pit stack right there. Calvin Cool says, plus with Arthur Smith, he might end up splitting running back work because he's crazy. And yes, that is very true. That's why I like Tyler Algier all the way down here as well. But we will take Noah Fant because Noah Fant in our model, he's all the way up here. And I love the Seattle offense. Seattle offense should be extremely strong this year. And Noah Fant is just a super, super athletic tight end. So Cole Kmet, Noah Fant. And we're going to go with your guy, Calby Cool. We're going to go with Felipe Franks, who is not being drafted at all. He played quarterback at Florida, and he drew 2 targets in 2022. During the Franks being working as a tight end last offseason, was reportedly present during training camp. Yeah, okay. But we'll take Felipe Franks. I don't think our model even projects anything out for Felipe Franks. But Felipe Franks is someone that we can just kind of just hope and pray on our 18th round tight end punt. Liam Murphy gave us that information. So Liam Murphy, thank you. Calby Cool, thank you for reminding me and helping me draft him because there is that Chicago-Atlanta Week 17 game stack. And if he just goes off and just happens to score a few touchdowns that week, could help us win the $3 million. So there goes our draft. Atlanta, Carolina, Indianapolis, Chicago. Okay. Don't hate it. So for all of you audio listeners, our final team, we have another 2-6-7-3 build. At quarterback, we have Justin Fields and Tua Tagovailoa. At running back, we have Jahmyr Gibbs, Joe Mixon, James Conner, Tyler Algier, Jeff Wilson, and Leonard Fournette. And at wide receiver, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Brandon Ayuk, Deontay Johnson, Odell Beckham, Romeo Doubs, Michael Gallup. And at tight end, we have Cole Kmet, Noah Fant, and Felipe Franks. So this has been a pretty fun draft. And because this was pretty unique, maybe I'll just go ahead and just jump straight into another one. We already have 6 people on the stream, and because we have so many, since we've hit a record for how many people are watching the stream at once, we're going to go ahead and run it back. Let's just jump straight into another draft, and we're going to do it for you guys because I'm having fun. Hopefully you guys are having fun too. And let's go. Let's hop right into another draft. Let me go ahead and grab some water real quick. Let's turn the music back up. Little intermission music, guys. Let's keep the vibes up. Keep the energy high. Come on. Let's go. Hopping straight into another draft. Let's get this shit. All right, let's clear all this out. All right, let's go. Hopefully none of you guys jumped in the draft with me. That'd be pretty upsetting. You guys are going to snipe me then as I talk through my process out loud. Oops. I did not. Okay, thank you, Calby. Cool. Thank you for not jumping in the stream to stream snipe me. But I wouldn't have been that mad. I have 150 of these entries. Ooh, 109. Okay, let's go. This is our first 109, actually. Let's go ahead and turn the music down. 109. Have not had a 109 yet, but let's just go ahead and look at the model real quick. So Cooper Kupp is our number 1 player in the model. I really want like a 105, 106 so I can draft a Cooper Kupp because I don't want to be taking Cooper Kupp like way over ADP. Like I'm not going to take him over Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey, Tyreek Hill because I want to be able to build teams out with those 4 players because our model likes all 4 of those players. But I need some Cooper Kupp on. I need to be overweight on Cooper Kupp, but it's going to be tough to be overweight on Cooper Kupp because of where he's being taken. And like I struggle taking Cooper Kupp at like 102, 101, 102, 103. Maybe a 104 is justified taking him over like a Tyreek Hill since I already have a decent amount of Tyreek Hill. But it's going to be tough. We'll see if Cooper Kupp gets pushed down the board a little bit because if we end up getting like a Cooper Kupp at like a 106, 107, beautiful, just straight beautiful. Looks like we have 1 red badge guy fully loaded at the 107, and we have Scorpion at the 112. So there goes Cooper Kupp at 103. He's one of my favorite players this season, just because he's being faded a little bit, in my opinion. So I'm going to continue taking Cooper Kupp way up there. I mean, I guess he's not being faded that much if he's being taken 103 in this draft. So let me redact that statement. Calby Cool says, that's why I feel like you need to be overweight on mid to late round guys. And I agree. That's why I'm so overweight on Antonio Gibson already. But okay. The way that this room is shaking out, Cooper Kupp is gone. Kelsey's gone. Jamar Chase. Jalen Waddle's there, but I don't want to take him already. Tyreek Hill got taken. McCaffrey. All right. Diggs is our top guy. Is Diggs there? Diggs just got taken. Amon Ra, Josh Jacobs, Garrett Wilson. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's our top guy. We'll go ahead and take A.J. Brown here. A.J. Brown. I love it. I don't have any A.J. Brown this year so far, so looks like that opens us up to some Philadelphia players, and we don't have too many Philly players already. So we have a Seattle, New York Giants, Arizona. I like that because Arizona in Week 17 is going to be cake for A.J. Brown. Let's go ahead and just like stack as many of the Philly players as we can. So we got A.J. Brown right here. If Jalen Waddle falls to us, that is the dream scenario. But Cooper Kupp goes. 0XD asks, model lower on Devontae because of age. Yes, model is much, much lower on Devontae because of age. And I think he's being drafted a little bit too highly right now, just because he is going into, I think he's 31 now? 31. So he's pretty expensive for where he's being drafted at. I'm assuming Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson have both gone. So we'll go ahead and mark those guys out. I'm assuming Eckler's gone. Saquon Barkley is probably – actually, Saquon's probably there. Let's see who has fallen. Oh, JT has fallen. Amon-Ra is still there. Jalen Waddle's still there. Garrett Wilson's still there. I would take any of those three receivers. So Amon-Ra is still there. Let's remove this. Garrett Wilson is still there. And Jalen Waddle is still there. I would take any three of the – oh, I get one of those receivers. Let's go. Let's go. This is beautiful. This is beautiful, guys. We get A.J. Brown and one of Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, or Jalen Waddle. What? Jalen Waddle's our favorite guy here. But we took Jalen Waddle in our last draft. We took Jalen Waddle and Amon-Ra in our last draft. Is Philly playing in those? Seattle, New York Giants, Arizona. Who got taken? Garrett Wilson got taken. All right, we're going to go ahead and probably just take Jalen Waddle here then, because the model freaking loves Jalen Waddle. I already have a ton of Amon-Ra. So A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle, come on down. What a beautiful start to this this draft. The Judy projection is interesting because he didn't score that well 2 years ago. What do you think is propping him up? Let's look at let's dive into Jerry Jeudy a little bit. So Jerry Jeudy had PPR last season. He was wide receiver 21, 100 targets, 67 receptions, 972 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns. He had 170 points. Let's see. Let's dive into the model with so we can understand this a little bit more. And we'll do this live for you guys. So the model splits fantasy points half PPR mean first at 9 and 11.6 points. What was Jerry Jeudy's weekly? He had 11.4 fantasy points per game. I think that clears both of our thresholds. Oh, it's just under the 11.62. So he goes into the yes column. So I'm assuming he falls here. So weighted opportunity. Okay, so that's where it's getting split right there. Basically, the model is propping Jerry Jeudy up, I believe, because he's able to clear the necessary thresholds where he was getting the right amount of targets, he was getting the right amount of yak and receiving yards, and his 2 years ago PPR. What was his PPR 2 years ago? I think he got hurt that year, right? Let's check that real quick. Jerry Jeudy. Ooh, Jerry Jeudy is far down here. Cal Be Cool says, gotta go, boss. Gonna rewatch the replay when I get a chance. Thanks for joining the live stream, Cal. Really appreciate all of the engagement today. You're awesome. But okay, where was Jerry Jeudy last year? Let me hit Command F right here. Little Jerry guy. Wide receiver 89, really, really low. Yeah, that was the year where he got hurt. So that's a good call out, 0x. I'm struggling to understand the Jerry Jeudy projection as well. But I mean, it makes a little bit of sense that he's hitting some of the thresholds that we want our receivers to hit. And who's falling? Sorry. Let me get back to the draft real quick. See who's falling to us. The dream spot would be Josh Allen falling to us, but I don't think he's going to fall to us. But if we could get like a Lamar Marky Mark, would be pretty big. Where does Lamar on our rankings? Lamar. Was Lamar Jackson not in the model? Ooh, okay. There's another guy that's missing in our model. We're going to have to plug in some Lamar Jackson. Oh, maybe it's because I filtered out quarterbacks. I'm a dumbass. Lamar Jackson. Am I blind? A little bit lower. Ooh. I think it's probably because Lamar just is never able to stay healthy. I think a healthy Lamar, the model is missing on that sort of projection. Healthy Lamar is elite. And I love me some Lamar Jackson. If Josh Allen falls to us, our model just freaking loves Josh Allen. Okay, Josh Allen just got taken. That is a severe fall of ADP. But maybe just to continue to stack that Baltimore-Miami game, we'll go Lamar Jackson if he falls to us. Mark Andrews went right here. But we could get like a Lamar Jackson and continue to stack like Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman. Damn, Lamar just got taken. Okay. Do we want another receiver here? Our model likes Trevor. We got Waddle, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, Jerry Jeudy. You know what? I'm going to go Calvin Ridley here. I am a big fan of Calvin Ridley, and I need more Calvin Ridley in my life. I need to be drafting more Calvin Ridley just because I'm such a big fan of Calvin Ridley. And one of the big things that our model really hits on is our model loves players who produced really, really well 2 years ago. And let's look at Calvin Ridley 2 years ago. Where was Ridley 2 years ago? I guess Ridley was a little bit lower, wasn't he? 104. Ridley did get hurt. 11.1 fantasy points per game, though. So he clears our first threshold where he could fall into the same range as like Jerry Jeudy. Maybe I did overdraft Ridley a little bit right there. But I like the fact that he's going into that Jacksonville offense. He's going to get Trevor Lawrence throwing him the ball. And I'm a big fan of that Jacksonville offense in general. I think Christian Kirk is a little bit undervalued too, where I could stack like Trevor Lawrence down in like the 5th, 6th round and like wait on elite quarterback a little bit. Just because it looks like the quarterbacks are getting pushed down the board a little bit in this draft specifically. ETN just went. Philadelphia, Miami, Jacksonville are our guys. Miami plays Jets, Dallas, Baltimore. Philly goes Seattle, Giants, Arizona. Jacksonville goes Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Carolina. Okay, so Baltimore is kind of like that. That's a weird spot. Who do I want to take here? Do I just say screw it and go Najee? Huh. The model likes Najee. We'll go ahead and take Najee Harris just because I am pretty bullish on Pittsburgh this year. I think they take a decent step forward with Kenny Pickett as their quarterback. And Najee Harris is one of the guys that our model seems to like. Let's see. So we were able to get Waddle. We got Waddle again. I can't believe we keep getting Waddle. I know we overdrafted him a little bit last, but the fact that he's falling this far, like I will take all of the Waddle. All 4 of these guys got drafted. We got Waddle and A.J. Brown. That is beautiful. And then we got Najee Harris. Najee Harris is right here as the RB. What is Najee Harris RB? He is the RB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's the RB 8 in the model. And what is he getting drafted as? Like the RB 14. I think that's money. And I'm going to take Najee Harris down here in the 4th round. I'm happy with that. He basically has no competition in that backfield. I expect Pittsburgh their run game to be upgraded. They drafted Darnell Wright in the 1st round, and he's going to be a stud for Pittsburgh. So let's ride. Let's ride Pittsburgh. I expect Mike Tomlin to make this Pittsburgh team kind of an elite team like they always are. So I'm going to go ahead, take Najee Harris there, and take that to the bank. Okay. We'll probably go Trevor at not this pick, but the 2nd one. If Christian Kirk falls to us, that is the player that we're going to want. Just because who does Jacksonville play in week 17? I think it's a pretty cakey matchup. Yeah, they play Carolina. They get Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Carolina down the stretch. So I really, really like that. And I'm all in on Jacksonville this year. I really, really like that organization over there. So hopefully we'll be able to get a Christian Kirk. The model loves Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk is all the way up here. I think Jeudy got taken, right? Did Jeudy get taken? Yeah, Jeudy went a little bit earlier. Yeah, Jeudy just got taken. Kenneth Walker, CeeDee Lamb, Derrick Henry, Chris Olave, all are gone. James Conner, T. Higgins. I think Swift is still there. We could even look at like a DeAndre Swift because the model really likes DeAndre Swift. I assume Pittman, Ramondre both went. I think DJ Moore is still on the board. We maybe should have gotten DJ Moore in our last draft to stack him with Justin Fields, but that's okay. I think I'm going to be drafting a decent amount of DJ Moore this year because I freaking love DJ Moore. I think he's an amazing player. So we'll go ahead and probably get some more DJ Moore. But I think Tank Bigsby lines up for this team perfectly. So we're definitely going to want to be looking at Tank Bigsby. Tony Pollard has definitely been taken. I know a lot of people say Tony Pollard has that RB1 upside, and yes, he does have that RB1 upside. But I don't see all those receivers got taken. Dang it, I want a Christian Kirk. Where does our model have Trevor versus Herbert? I really like Herbert this year. He's going to be so explosive. Herbert has him at 6, and Trevor Lawrence is down there. I like both of them. All right, JSN goes. Maybe we just go Trevor just to solidify that quarterback stack, but I don't want to take Herbert over Trevor or Trevor over Herbert. Screw it. I'll go ahead and take Herbert. I'm going to ruin the Chargers guys' day. Scorpion. Oh, yeah. We'll go ahead and take her. I mean, Herbert just fell. Like I'll take Herbert right there. Herbert is playing against the Chargers. Got Las Vegas, Buffalo, Denver. I guess I don't really have too many stacks there, but that's all right. I'm just drafting players that I think are really good, and maybe we can even get like Herbert and Trevor as he comes back to us. But maybe we just go Joe Mixon just because Joe Mixon's like one of our top guys. Who does Cincinnati play? Cincinnati gets Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Kansas City. They do get Pittsburgh. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Carolina. I guess this draft is a little bit more scattered. How does your model project rookies and year 2 wide receivers? The model projects year 2 wide receivers very well. And rookies, I don't know. I don't know, genuinely. I think I'm going to have to just build in like a rookie model, completely separate from the model that I already built. That's going to be a project for later in the offseason because it's something that I definitely need. But okay, we could go ahead and just grab Trevor for the stacks and just like have both of those quarterbacks be my 2 quarterbacks for the entire season. But I really like Mixon here. I like Mike Evans here too. Tampa Bay plays Green Bay, Jacksonville, New Orleans. I'm bouncing between Trevor and Mixon, and I think I'm leaning Mixon just because Mixon I think is pretty underpriced. And the fact I get him here in the 6th round, he's going to be one of those guys that's shooting up draft boards. I think, I'm going Mixon here, and then I need to stack some Chargers Denver because so far it's been a little bit scattered in terms of the guys I've been drafting. But all these guys that I've drafted so far are studs. This roster is just straight studs all around. So I need to start building in the game stacks around these guys. I think focusing your first 8 rounds should just be built around players that are going to be super productive throughout the entire year. These are going to be guys that are your base package, your guys that should be putting up points on a weekly basis. So I'm going to be focusing. If Dallas Goedert falls to us, that'd be beautiful. DeAndre Swift. So we're going to try to get Philly players. We could even add some like Arizona bringbacks. I'd probably only want one Arizona bringback, like a James Conner again, or could even go like a Rondale Moore later in the draft or a Hollywood if he falls to us. But don't want too much there. We definitely need some Baltimore players because I really like that Miami-Baltimore game. So we could even look at Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, maybe even like an Odell again. Jacksonville, that's that Jacksonville versus who do they play week 17? Jacksonville plays Carolina. Maybe instead of grabbing Trevor, I guess if Trevor falls to us, we're definitely going to take him. But I don't think Trevor or Goddard are going to fall to us. Those are our top 2 options at our next pick. But the bring back on Jacksonville is those Carolina guys like a Bryce Young, Jonathan Mingo, those sorts of players. Adam Thielen, we could look at those guys. Even like at running back, like a Chuba Hubbard. So Cincinnati, Pitt, Cincinnati plays Kansas City. I don't think we don't really have to focus on stacking the running backs. I'm fine with naked running backs, and we're definitely going to want to stack the quarterbacks and receivers, though. We could look at Quentin Johnston at our next pick to stack him with Justin Herbert, and then we'll look at like Gerald Everett as our tight end to stack him with Herbert as well. It's been really difficult. At least I've found it really difficult to stack Herbert with like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, even though I really, really want to be able to stack those players. I wonder if Mueller has Christian Kirk. He doesn't. Okay, interesting. I guess we're going a lot of naked quarterbacks in this draft, but I am going to want to also be grabbing some of those Denver bringbacks. I want to focus on like a Marvin Mims later in the draft. Samaje Perine, definitely, because the report on Javonte Williams, like it's positive right now, but I can expect that to turn south very, very quickly because he tore his ACL, his LCL, and his PCL and his MCL. I think he tore everything in his knee, essentially. Same thing that J.K. Dobbins did. So he might start up on the pup list. And it's going to be just music to every single Samaje Perine's ears. If that is actually the case, Samaje Perine would get pushed way up boards. So yeah, don't love that situation. But okay, let's see. Who are the top guys? We got Mixon, so we can go ahead and highlight that. Top guys. Ayuk is definitely gone. Terry's definitely gone. Christian Kirk is gone. James Conner, DeAndre Swift are the top guys. James Conner, Deontay Johnson are the top guys. Deontay Johnson just got taken. We could do James Conner for the bring back. We'll probably do James Conner, Quentin Johnston. Don't like Pacheco. Where's Rashad White in our rankings? Rashad is a little bit lower. I guess he's in the same range, but I guess a lot of these guys have been taken. But he is alone in that backfield now. We like the PPR share. We could consider him. Rashad White just got taken. Okay. But we're gonna take Quentin Johnston definitely. And then maybe we go James Conner as the bring back on the Philadelphia. But I don't know how many more Philadelphia players we're gonna get. I mean, James Conner as a bring back against Philadelphia. I mean, that Philadelphia run defense is gonna be freaking amazing. So maybe we pivot and go like Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers as our two picks. But Quentin Johnston is definitely the pick here. 86.5. We'll take him at 81. That's okay, in my opinion, just to shore up that stack with Justin Herbert. And I'm a supreme believer in Quentin Johnston's yak ability. He's going to be an exciting player to watch out of the slot. If they use him as big slot, that'd be pretty insane. But the way that I actually see that offense shaking out, I mean, it's Kellen Moore's offense. It's going to be so much fun to watch. It's going to be Quentin Johnston, Mike Williams outside, and Keenan Allen in the slot. I expect a lot of three wide receiver sets in Los Angeles this year. But we'll see who falls to us. James Conner. Actually, honestly, if Gabe Davis falls to us, maybe we'll just take Gabe. Where's Gabe in our rankings? Oh, Gabe is right here, right next to Rashad White. I mean, we took Quentin Johnston. He's lower, but he has the potential to pop. Deontay went. James Conner is our top guy on the board. And we could go James Conner here. Could go James Conner or Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is James Conner just get taken. I think we'll go Zay Flowers just because we love the rookie wide receivers. They're a lot of fun, and both of these offenses should be revamped and should really take off in value. So we will prioritize Zay Flowers here and go Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers. Hopefully one of those guys pops off for us. Gabe Davis is sliding a little bit, but I don't have too much correlation with the Bills. Don't have any Bills players right now. Dallas. Oh, I guess we could go low because we have Herbert. But we'll have plenty of teams where we have Gabe Davis. We kind of want to go Zay Flowers here. For the Miami-Baltimore bring back, just because I think that Miami-Baltimore game is going to be so high scoring. And we have Jalen Waddle. We could even grab like Tua because we missed on Lamar if Tua falls to us. But we definitely want to get some Denver bringbacks. Cortland Sutton. Where does our model have Cortland Sutton? Low. I don't want Sutton. Javonte, Evan Engram. We do have the Jacksonville boys. Carolina was another one of those teams that was terrible against the tight end position. Right? No, Carolina was actually not bad. All right. We don't need to get Evan Engram then. Javonte Williams is an option, but I think I'm going to be. I've been drafting a little bit of Javonte Williams, so I think I'm going to avoid him a little bit, just to focus on like a Samaje Perine instead, because Samaje Perine is going to be starting off the year healthy. He's at 115. We could get him at our 10th round pick, and then hoping that Antonio Gibson falls to our 11th round pick. But okay. The Chargers, they play Denver week 17. That's Russ's team. We'll see how the room shakes out to us. Michael Thomas, New Orleans. I don't think I'm necessarily. I already have a New Orleans team. New Orleans draw. They're playing Giants, Rams, Tampa Bay. I need some more Rams. I need some more Rams guys. But maybe we'll even take like a Madison if he falls to us, because Madison might be the starter. The report was that Dalvin Cook is going to get cut. Okay, so he just went. Does he have JJ? Yeah, he has JJ. Ooh. Interesting build. Very shallow at wide receiver. I am not a huge fan of that. Yeah, especially when my wide receiver room is AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, Calvin Ridley, Quentin Johnston, and Zay Flowers. All 5 of those guys, except AJ Brown, are first-round wide receivers, which is actually pretty wild. I think AJ Brown was a second-round wide receiver, if I'm not mistaken. AJ Brown was drafted in the 2nd round. Yeah. Crazy that the best receiver on my team was drafted in the 2nd round. Actually, the model likes Jalen Waddle more than AJ Brown, so maybe Jalen Waddle is the best receiver on this team. But okay, if the room continues to follow to us like this, I think if Tua falls to us, we'll probably take him again, just because we like Tua. We think the model is not accounting for Tua correctly. Just because if he plays the whole year, I mean, maybe there's a certain amount of risk, which I'm not accounting for personally. But I just want to target that game, and Tua should go off against that Baltimore secondary. Brandon Ayuk is gone. Obviously, Lenny is still there, and maybe we can look at Lenny again in this draft. Terry, Christian Kirk, they're both gone. James Conner is gone. DeAndre Swift is gone. Deontay, DJ Moore, Antonio Gibson is still there. We will be looking at Antonio Gibson once again. Mike Evans is gone. Is Zay Jones still here? Alan Lazard's right there. Okay. Our model likes all of those guys. It likes Lazard. It likes Jacoby. It likes Zay Jones. Tua is still there, though. Maybe we grab Tua and just set and forget it. Tua just keeps falling. I mean, if you guys want to keep letting Tua fall to me, I'll just keep drafting him and just like stack him with Jalen Waddle. I mean, he's a fun one. Jake Bauman says, if you want Rams players, get Van Jefferson. I think Rams played Giants, Washington, New Orleans. I mean, I don't need Rams players this time, but like maybe we'll go ahead and just grab Van Jefferson anyways, and just go like naked Van Jefferson, just because like I saw the reports that the Rams want to feature Van Jefferson more this year, and so he's a solid dart throw there at the end of the draft. But I think our next pick, we're definitely going to go Samaje. Maybe later on we could be drafting more A-Chain, but I already have the Tua, Waddle, Zay Flowers bring back. And maybe A-Chain pops off that week. I don't know. But I want the cheapest running back in Miami right now. I want Jeff Wilson because he is the cheapest one. But I think in our next pick, Sutton is sliding. We're definitely going to go Samaje Perine, just because there's a very, very, very real possibility that Javonte Williams starts off on the pup, and Samaje Perine could be healthy for that time and really take over that backfield. I like Samaje Perine here. And he's the bring back for the Justin Herbert, Quentin Johnston stack. And we'll probably stack on Gerald Everett later in the game as well. I guess we do have an option in Rashad Penny as well, but I think for this team specifically, I'm going to want Samaje Perine over Rashad Penny, and just hope for the best here. Because Rashad Penny, he's very explosive when he's on the field. I'm just worried about him playing week 17, but if he's there in week 17, he's probably going off. But Rashad Penny or Samaje Perine. Rashad Penny or Samaje Perine. I'll highlight Samaje Perine there. Samaje, okay, 73. Rashad, 92. The model likes Rashad Penny a little bit more. Screw it. Give me Rashad Penny. The model likes him a little bit more. I'll take him. I'll take him here just because I have that AJ Brown stack. So Rashad Penny makes. I guess it was just like up to me. I could have taken either one. Maybe I should have taken Samaje because he's probably going to rise throughout the offseason. So maybe that one is a little bit of a throwaway pick there. But Rashad Penny should be pretty dynamic in the Philadelphia backfield. And if DeAndre Swift is not healthy for Week 17, Rashad Penny is going to go off against the Cardinals. So this is going to be a fun team to follow. But I think Samaje Perine was the pick there. But if Rashad Penny's healthy Week 17 and this team makes it there, oh my God, that's going to be exciting. Okay. 11th round, we're obviously going to look at, okay, so Samaje just went. 11th round, if A-Chain falls to us, we'll take A-Chain. Where's Antonio Gibson? If Antonio Gibson's there, we probably take Antonio Gibson too. We're up in 12 picks. We like Zay Jones too. So I think we'll take either A-Chain. I highly doubt A-Chain makes it to us. We'll go A-Chain, Zay Jones, A-Chain, Antonio Gibson, Zay Jones. That's how we'll prioritize those picks. Just because we've already taken 5 wide receivers early. It's a pretty solid room. We want to build out our running back room a little bit here. We have 2 quarterbacks. And again, we have faded the tight end position. We're going to go 3 late tight end. Just because, like, if we look at our model, like this is one of the biggest things from my model that I found out specifically about tight ends. Travis Kelce, far and away tight end 1. If you can get Travis Kelce, definitely draft Travis Kelce because he is going to be a stud again. And then the rest of the tight ends, they're all just like lumped pretty closely together. I would actually bump Mark Andrews a little bit. Our error bar for tight ends is about 40 points. So I'd put Mark Andrews in about like the 200-point range. And tight end 1, tight end 2, they're pretty solidified there. And then everyone else is just one big giant clump of players. So like we're just going to want to be drafting the cheapest ones and hope that we find a little diamond in the rough. So that's what we're gonna do again in this draft. Is hope that we can find a diamond in the rough. But Antonio Gibson is still there. We'd probably take Antonio Gibson here. And if for whatever reason, did Zay Jones get taken? He did get taken. Okay. This is the guy that has Trevor, isn't it? Yep. Nice pick. I like Zay Jones. The model likes Zay Jones. I like Zay Jones. Okay, Antonio Gibson is probably going to be the pick here. And then Jacksonville, Carolina. I mean, the Jacksonville defense is still pretty suspect, so we can probably look at like a Chuba Hubbard as our 5th running back. But after we take Antonio Gibson here, we're going to focus back in on the wide receiver position. And then maybe we'll hope for like an Adam Thielen to fall to us, and then we can take him there as a bring back on the Jacksonville Calvin Ridley. And then like later in the draft, we'll look at like a Trey McBride as a bring back on the AJ Brown, Rashad Penny. But we'll see. We'll see how the room continues to fall to us. Definitely going to take Antonio Gibson here. And like, I don't love Antonio Gibson for Week 17. I mean, they're playing the freaking 49ers. So that's probably going to be kind of a shit show for us. But I like Antonio Gibson the rest of the year. He's going to be part of a fun, explosive offense in the Washington Commanders. He's one of my favorite players. I think he's going to be used and maximized his potential finally because we have a competent offensive coordinator in Bieniemy. How do you pronounce it? Bieniemy? However you pronounce it. So we'll take Antonio Gibson here. And then if Adam Thielen falls to us, here will be our next pick. Because of the bring back against Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the bring back on Jacksonville. And then we'll focus. We could even focus on like Tank Bigsby. Actually, I like Tank Bigsby over Chuba Hubbard just because that Jacksonville offense is going to be good. Doug Peterson loves his committees. So we're going to look at Tank Bigsby. We're going to look at Marvin Mims. Those are 2 of the guys which we definitely want. And then like, who's the Denver? Oh, we could even look like a Greg Dulcich. So we'll see. We'll see how the room falls to us. But I think we want Thielen here. If Thielen gets taken, maybe we go Philly, Jacksonville, Carolina, Philly, Chargers, Denver. We'll go Carolina here. Thielen just got taken. Okay. I guess Elijah Mitchell isn't the worst pick here. What is the model telling us? All-seeing model. What do you see? You sees Kamara. Still sees Lenny. We got Antonio Gibson. Here comes Alan Lazard, Lockett, Jones, Metcalf, Michael Thomas, David Montgomery, Brees Hall, Mike Williams, Jacoby, Hopkins, Pickens, Samuel, Kamari, Hollywood, Damian Pierce, AJ Dillon, Christian Watson, Keenan Allen, Kyle Pitts, Miles Sanders, Tyler Algier. Still sees Algier down here. All right, we're back on the clock. Sees Devin Singletary too. Again, not prepared. Maybe we just go Dulcich here as the bring back against the Chargers. And I do like Greg Dulcich. Think he could be productive this year. And Sean Payton does like to use his tight ends a decent amount. We'll go ahead and grab Greg Dulcich here. He hit the necessary mark, or maybe he was just under the necessary mark for tight ends. But he got hurt at the end of last year, so we're going to give him a pass. We'll take Greg Dulcich here. We just took Cole Kmet, so we'll go ahead and grab Greg Dulcich this time. Maybe Kendry or Elijah Mitchell could have been in play too, but I think we're going to want to get what's their face? Either Chuba Hubbard or Tank Bigsby later in the draft. Probably leading Tank Bigsby as our last pick, but we could go. So we went Greg Dulcich in the 12th round. Who do I want to get at my next pick? We definitely want receiver. Definitely want receiver here. Mike Evans, Lazard, Jones, Lockett, Metcalf, Michael Thomas, Mike Williams, Devontae, Pickens, Murray Cooper, Hollywood, Christian Watson, Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin. All these guys have been taken. The model still likes Chase Claypool. But this is not a Bears team, so we will not take Chase Claypool. KJ Osborne's up here too. Josh Palmer, interesting. KJ Osborne. We don't have any Green Bay players, so maybe we don't take KJ Osborne with this team. But Josh Palmer is way further down, isn't he? Do I just go super reach on Marvin Mims at 153? I mean, maybe we go reach on Marvin Mims at 160, ADP 173. We could get Rondale too. And we also want Tank. So, I mean, this is the range of players that we want to get. We want Everett, Tank, Rondale, Mims. Those are our bringbacks. Could even look at Van Jefferson as well. So we'll see. I mean, all these guys are falling precipitously here at the top. We like Algier as well. But I don't think we want to get Algier again. Not here, at least. This is interesting. I don't really know how to play this right here. Miami plays Baltimore. None of these Baltimore Cats excite me that much. Hyatt is falling a little bit. I don't really want Jalen Hyatt. Third round rookie. Yeah, I will pass. But I do like Everett is a reach. Guys, what do I do? I definitely want receiver, though. Hyatt, DPJ are the top two, but I don't want either of those. Rashid Shaheed, I don't want him either. I do like Wandale, but who do the Giants play week 17? They play the Rams. It also plays Philly. Yeah, I don't want Wandale. Maybe we just go ultimate reach and just get the guys that we actually want. And just go like, who's the top guy that we wanted? Just go Everett, Bigsby, Rondale, Marvin Mims. I think the guy that we want the most and probably the one that's going to rise the most is Marvin Mims. So we could probably go ahead and take him. I mean, we are taking him 20 rounds ahead of ADP, but I actually expect that ADP to kind of normalize throughout the offseason. And we're going to be taking him down here and he's going to be probably drafted much, much higher than where he's being drafted right now. I actually expect his ADP to settle around the 11th, 12th round. So the fact that I'm getting him at 153, maybe we'll wait to get him at 160 just to get the ADP value a little bit stronger on this team. Because I don't love any of these guys. I mean, I could take Kyler, but I mean, I already have my two elite quarterbacks. Don't need it. No reason to take Kyler. We do like Devin Singletary as well, but again, no reason to take him here. I like Wandale. Damn. Okay. I think just for my stack, I'll go Everett, and then we'll go Everett and then Mims. It looks like we're going to miss on Tank Bigsby, which is really, really unfortunate. But I needed my Everett and I need my Mims on this team. And then we'll just hope and pray that Tank Bigsby falls to 177. Who's more important, Tank or Mims on this team? I think we need to grab Mims on this team over Tank, just because we have a decent amount of Tank, and like we actually don't have many of the Jacksonville players, so like we don't need to stack that too much. But we can go 2 Denver, 3 Chargers for that Week 17 game, and just hope that Week 17 game is kind of a shootout, because I think it was last year. I mean, Denver, LAC. Were either of these teams bad at defense? I guess Denver was probably the best. Oh, Denver was not the best. Chargers were decent. Denver was actually below average. Okay. So I'm happy that I got that. Denver Chargers. 31-28 at near the end of the season. Was that Week 18? Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. All right, who's falling on the top of the board? Kyler has fallen a ton. Oh, Marvin Mims got taken. No. Oh, I should have taken Marvin Mims. No. That's so sad. Oh, and Gerald Everett probably was going to take it. What am I thinking? Marvin Mims should. Guys, I'm disappointed in myself. Maybe that's what screws us, guys. That's the reason we're not going to win this. This specific submission is not going to win Best Ball Mania, because Marvin Mims was taken. Oh man, I should have taken him. We'll go ahead and grab Tank Bigsby, just because we like Tank Bigsby a lot. But we only have 5 receivers still. Oh, I don't love it. We're definitely just going to have to hammer wide receivers at the back end of this draft. This is a bit unfortunate. All right. I don't love this team, but I don't hate it either. I mean, it's a really solid team that we had shape out for us. So in terms of stacks that we were able to build, we got Herbert, QJ, Gerald Everett with the Dulcich bring back. We wish it was a Marvin Mims bring back as well, but unfortunately we did not get it. Pittsburgh plays Seattle. We don't have any Pitt. Cincinnati plays Kansas City. We don't have any of that. Philadelphia versus Arizona. We have Rashad Penny, AJ Brown. We're hoping to get a Rondale Moore, but we'll see if we're able to get that. We have Washington versus San Francisco. We don't have any of that. We have a Jacksonville versus Carolina. We have Tank Bigsby and Calvin Ridley. And then for the Miami-Baltimore game, we have Jalen Waddle and Zay Flowers. We'll see how the room continues to fall to us, but we're hoping to get Rondale Moore or Van Jefferson at our next pick. It's going to be a little bit since we're until we're drafting, but I'm liking how our team has fallen out to us so far. It's definitely not what we were anticipating how the room would fall to us, but it's been pretty solid thus far. We definitely need some more receivers. We could even look at like a Wandale. Who do the Giants play Week 17? The Giants play the Rams. Oh, that could be juicy if I take Wandale. I mean, the Rams have probably the worst wide receiver or cornerback group in the NFL. So we could even look at a Wandale Van Jefferson stack. That'd be pretty interesting, actually. Wandale Van Jefferson. Okay, unfortunately, Van Jefferson gets taken. That's okay. We could get like a Wandale Puka Nacua stack. Maybe we just grabbed like 2 Giants players, like a Wandale and Isaiah Hodgins. Just like target that Giants Rams game Week 17. Maybe that's the game to target. Giants Rams Week 17. Because that Rams secondary is going to be the worst secondary in the NFL. And the Giants receiving room is very ambiguous. So maybe that's the game to target. Maybe we're learning stuff here. Giants Rams might not be the highest scoring game, but it could be a solid scoring game in terms of fantasy production. So sorry, Jake Bauman. I know you called out Van Jefferson. I was not able to get him. End up reaching on some guys, which I don't love, but I just didn't like where the ADPs were falling. So we're going to go ahead and just be happy with the guys that we've taken so far, and hope that we're able to get Wandale and Isaiah Hodgins down here against the atrocious Rams secondary in Week 17. But okay, let's see. Tua, Waddle, Zay. a nice little skinny stack going there. We'll go ahead and try to get Wandale, Isaiah Hodgins with our 2 picks. I think that's a solid 2 guys to grab. If Wandale gets taken, I'll probably get Raheem Mostert. If Raheem Mostert gets taken, we'll take Devin Singletary. Like I said, want the cheapest running back in the Miami backfield. I expect those guys to continue to rotate. Raheem Mostert gets taken, so that plan is moot. But whatever. Herbert, Tua, we like that. If one of these guys gets taken, we'll probably go Devin Singletary. Just because Devin Singletary is a pretty good player. And if all those guys get taken, okay, so good job, Mr. Non-Relevant. You have been taking the guys which I think that should be taken, like Leonard Fournette. Oh, you have a lot of risk right here. Javonte Kamara. Having both those dudes on the same time. I mean, if all of these guys are fully healthy for Week 17, that is an insane running back room to have. He's got Mahomes too. He's got Tyreek, Christian Kirk. So solid team. I like your team, Mr. Non-Relevant. But hopefully Wandale falls to us. We'll take him there. And then Isaiah Hodgins at our next pick for our 2 Giants wide receivers who we expect to kind of pop. Give us a little pop here. We'll go Wandale. I know our model doesn't love Wandale. Let's see where he is. Wandale right there. And then, actually, model actually likes Sterling Shepard. But we'll take Wandale, and Hodgins is even lower. But maybe we could even get like a Sterling Shepard last round for him to go off just like one more time as like a little ride off into the sunset. All of these guys have been taken. Chase Claypool has not been taken. Who else is on the board? I mean, we're getting into the dirty down here. We'll probably take Isaiah Hodgins just because we like Isaiah Hodgins as a player. I think he's pretty solid. He just signed a deal with the Giants too, and he was their de facto wide receiver 1 down in the stretch end of the season. So we'll go ahead and take Hodgins down here. I know we're shying away a little bit from our model, but I think that's warranted with like look how close all these guys are. They're all very close in predicted points. So again, directional guys, directional. Who are these Van Jeffersons right here? Oh yeah, Paris Campbell. Where did Paris Campbell sign again? Paris Campbell signed with who? Campbell's on the Giants too. Dude, just grab all of the Giants wide receivers. Just go Campbell, Hodgins, Shepard. Oh, they also have freaking what's his name? Darius Slayton. That's a deep mid wide receiver room. Because all those guys can take you long, but where's Chase Claypool's ADP? 195. Okay. But hey, if Matthew Stafford's still here at pick 201 with an ADP of 159, I'll probably just take Matthew Stafford. Just because I expect him to be pretty decent this year. Maybe I should have taken Stafford over Hodgins. Yeah, Stafford's definitely going to go. I mean, all these dudes have 2 quarterbacks, though. And this dude has 3. Maybe Stafford doesn't fall. Or maybe Stafford does fall. So that'd be pretty nice if we can get the Stafford stack with the Giants players. Because I actually expect Stafford to be pretty decent this year. And then we're probably going to want to get we took 2 running backs here. And I like this running back room. Maybe we don't need a 6th running back. And we take an 8th wide receiver. Just because we have to be able to sustain with these 4 receivers. They're going to be very, very spiky. Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers, especially at the beginning of the year. So maybe we just take an 8th wide receiver on this team, even though we do have A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle. So I think we'll take – who's the top receiver that is not getting drafted at all? Let's see. Okay, all of these guys are gone. Even freaking Claypool went. Claypool, Dynamo, all of these guys are gone. Josh Palmer's gone too, probably. Josh Palmer's there. Okay, we could look at a Josh Palmer for the extra stack. Josh Palmer is the top receiver on our board, and he is there. Did I draft another one of these guys? Calvin Ridley's missing from the model. That's right. And then the rookies are missing from the model as well. Darius Slayton is there. We could get Darius Slayton. Cortland Sutton, Brandon Cooks, Adam Thielen, Jahan Dotson, Rondale. Matt Collins is there. Could get Matt Collins. Sterling Shepard is there. Could get Sterling Shepard. Russell Gage, Nick Westbrook, Akine, Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman. Westbrook Akine is there too. We got Wandale. Valdez Scantling's probably gone. Van Jefferson's gone. Paris Campbell's still there. Okay, we have some options here. There goes Stafford. Maybe we go Palmer at this next pick for the additional Chargers correlation. And Palmer was pretty decent last year. I mean, Palmer put up what? 107 targets, 72 receptions, 769 receiving yards, and 3 touchdowns. Maybe we just go Palmer. Just get the late. Where's Robert Woods on our ranking? Robert Woods isn't too much further down. Nico Collins there, Tyquan Thornton, Isaiah Hodgins, Sky Moore, Laviska, Noah Brown. What if we just go Laviska Shenault as our Week 18 pick? I don't know. We'll see how the room falls to us. But we could go either Paris Campbell, maybe even we don't have any Dallas or Detroit players. I like Marvin Jones as like a last round play too. Paris Campbell gets taken. Curtis Samuel gets taken. I think we're going to want to go Josh Palmer here. And then we'll have our 4 Chargers players just banking on an injury on one of those guys. Actually, obviously, we don't want to bank on an injury. But, okay, Josh Palmer gets sniped from us. Doobie, for you, if you're in the stream and you're watching this, I am upset that you just sniped my tight end. But I think we're going to get Trey McBride because we have A.J. Brown. This is our bring back. The Arizona bring back that we all expected. The Trey McBride bring back. Because maybe – how did Philadelphia guard the tight end position? Philadelphia was like top 12, and like I expect them to be up there as well again. But maybe Kyler Murray's back that week, and he's just peppering Trey McBride with targets. So we'll take Trey McBride there as our 3rd tight end. I think that's actually a pretty solid tight end room shaping out. But we'll either go running back or receiver with our last pick. It could be like I don't like any of these running backs all that much. Could go like a Darius Slayton. Where's Sterling? I actually think Sterling is the pick. Just go 3 Giants wide receivers, just hoping that we're able to luck into one of the guys who pops off. Sterling Shepard. Or maybe we just need a Rams receiver. Who are the Rams receivers? Maybe like a Puka Nacua. Any reports on Puka Nacua? What does Fantasy Pro say about Puka Nacua? Puka. It's going for a high. Okay. I mean, Nakua's big, and we need the bring back. So maybe we just go 8 wide receivers in this draft. One of them being Puka. Yeah, we'll go Puka Nacua. Maybe it's a wasted pick, but hey, we'll draft Puka here as the potential Week 17. Just boom. We got Puka, Isaiah Hodgins. Okay, so for the audio listeners at home, we are going to talk through our team. Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa as our quarterbacks. Running backs, Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, Rashad Penny, Antonio Gibson, Tank Bigsby. Wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Calvin Ridley, Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, Wan'Dale Robinson, Isaiah Hodgins, Puka Nacua. Tight ends, Greg Dulcich, Gerald Everett, Trey McBride. It's a 2-5-8-3 team. We went 8 receivers instead of 7 wide receivers and 5 running backs instead of 6. So it's Jake Bauman says draft Tutu Atwell. I like Puka Nacua over Tutu Atwell because Puka Nacua, if you haven't before, go ahead and watch his highlights. He's pretty intriguing, and maybe Sean McVay gets to use him. He was drafted in the 4th, 5th round, something like that. So I like what they're doing over there in LA. And I think Stafford and McVay are going to find a way to get Puka Nacua the ball. But all we need is a Week 17 pop against the Giants mid-secondary. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. I really appreciate everybody for staying with me throughout the entire time. Was able to get 2 drafts through. And hopefully one of these teams was the winner. So thank you again, and hope all of you have a good rest of your day.